In this video, I'm going to talk about preparing lesson materials in the Classin program. The first thing that I want to point out is that your ability to edit Blackboard files is going to be very limited if you try to find the file and edit the file directly. For example, I have a class file saved to my cloud disk. I click on that file. I click on the edit button over here. And the tools that I have available for editing down here are very limited. Look how small that is. This is not the normal selection. So we're going to exit out of this. If you click on this icon over here that says Blackboard Editor, that will open up a Blackboard file, but it's not going to give you any control of which file you are opening. So that is also a terrible way to actually do some editing. It's opening, I think, from a template file. It'll always open up the same one, and so if you were going to use this, you'd have to remember to delete everything, delete, 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 delete that, delete that, delete, 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 delete. Because when you're done working, you want everything to be organized. If you're going to, for example, start out a new file. So let's save our work here real quick. Now maybe I'm done. Tomorrow comes around and I want to start a new file for a new lesson. I need to get ready for a new class, right? So I open this up and oh no, that's not what I wanted. Delete, 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 delete. I don't have time for this. That's not good for me. So what do? How can you start a new file that's blank and you have all of your tools available, all of your choices for editing? Well, what you can do is go into the Messenger part of the program and create a temporary classroom. So that's something that you can find after you've added a friend or sent some messages back. You can either go to your contacts list or to your messages and just click on somebody and then go temporary classroom. So that opens up a little message right here, and I can click on where it says enter. Enter the classroom. Oh, thank heavens, finally. Now I have a new blank Blackboard file to work with, and finally I have all of my tools available, right? The whole selection of tools is available to me. Like this. You want to see this, then you know you have the full editor available. So now I have a nice blank Blackboard file to start with, and I have the full editor. What I'm going to do is go into my cloud disk, and I'm going to open up my file that I want to work with. This is my file for my class. And it's important to know that the nature of the Blackboard Editor is very different than that of a Word document. One of the nice things about text editors is that they are extensible. Extensible means that it's very easy for you to add new content. You can extend what you have done previously. For example, maybe I want to add some new words right here. No problem. All I got to do is place my cursor and hit the enter button a couple times, and I'm typing. I'm making space. Very easy to make space anywhere I want inside of a Word document, and then I can add content. You cannot easily make space and add new content to a Blackboard file inside of Classin, because the Classin editor works a lot like an image editor. Everything is objects. The objects kind of stand on top of each other. They float on top of each other, and you can move them around. There are some benefits to that, but there's some detriments as well. There's some things about this that aren't going to make it easy for you to work with your content. You can't make changes easily. Like if I want to add some new words here, then okay, maybe I can make space by moving this down, and then I can move this down, and I can move this down, and move this down, and move this down, and this down, and move this down, and this, 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 and this. That's going to take me like 20, maybe 30 minutes. I don't have that kind of time. But when I'm teaching, I do want my documents to be extensible. I want to be able to add to them and improve on them with every single lesson that I teach. I'm going to reload my Blackboard now so everything looks good again. And one of the things that I want to point out about the Blackboard is that due to that design limitation, what you want to use the Blackboard for is as a reminder to yourself about what content you want to show, and then you can access that content separately. Just have your content added to PPTs, PDFs, and Word documents so that you can just open it up. So what I might do is at some point in my presentation, I'll just have some text that says open the Word document. Open document teach 75. So I see this when I'm teaching. I go, okay, I'm going to find my Word document. I'll open that up now. And ta-da! I can open up a Word document inside of Classin. Now, it's important to understand that there's limitations with this as well, because I cannot type inside of this Word document. I cannot move things around inside of this Word document. The only thing I can do is view it. I can look at it. And that's it. It's just looking, no typing. So you don't have the same amount of control as you would have if you just open that Word document normally. We're going to open a little PDF document now, just to see how that looks. And there aren't a lot of view modes available for this. Like, I can't stretch one page to fit the window, so I'm looking at exactly one page at a time. That's not an option. You could try to make this kind of big or kind of small so that one page almost fits, and you can get kind of close. This is about as close as you're going to get. As you can see, this is not showing the full page, but if I were to try and page up, page down, oh, that's not working. I can only scroll. I can page up and page down with this user interface down here at the bottom. So bees buzz. Let's see if the text will be on target if I go to the next page. No, the text is not on target. It wasn't visible. I had to scroll down to see it. So there are some limitations with viewing documents inside of Classin. Finally, I want to open up my PowerPoint just to see what that looks like inside of Classin. So page 1, page 2, page 3. Now, I had inserted a video on page 3, but that is not appearing inside of Classin. I was told that you could do that. So that is yet another limitation. If I open that same document locally outside of the Classin program, then now I can see the video. Peppa Pig. All right. I was going to make a recommendation of putting videos inside of PPTs and then uploading the PPTs just as a way of putting content together in a way that's as organized as possible. Everything you need is in one place. You want to do that when you're teaching as much as possible. Have everything that you need all in one place. So our test did not work out. The video did not appear inside of Classin when I opened that PowerPoint document. So taking into consideration the design limitations that you're working with, what you want to do as a teacher is not use the Classin Blackboard. Use it very sparingly. It's not where you want your lesson content. It's where you want some content that tells you what you are doing when you're teaching the class. So like open the Word document, open the PPP, open the PPT, next play this video, next do this or that. Because it's so limited in the ability to, well, it lacks extensibility. You can't add new content to this easily because you'd be moving everything down or moving everything up, and that could be a lot of pages of content if you had a big file. I do want to show one technique that's really useful for if you take some pictures, like pictures of a book, pictures of a PPT, and you put that into your Blackboard file and you want to use that in class. You'll notice that in this example, the text is a little bit small. It might be difficult for my students to read. So what can I do? I can make the text resizable. And the way that you do that is by starting with one picture and then layering other pictures on top of it. So let's see if I can page down to the bottom of my file here. Here's my picture. and I'm going to make a selection of an area that I want to be able to enlarge. And so I'm just going to take a screenshot with WeChat. I got my screenshot taken now. And now I can paste, and I can just resize that and put it on top. So it's floating where the original content was located. But now I can grab the corner of this, I can resize it, have a student do a little bit of reading, and then I can make it small again. And you'll notice that when you're teaching a class, really useful content is the Control-Z shortcut for undoing the latest action. So for example, maybe I make it big. If I hit Control-Z, now it will get small. It's big, I moved it. My last action is I moved it. If I hit Control-Z, now it will move back to where it was. And if I hit Control-Z again, then it will get small. However, the Control-Z function works differently inside of a live class than in the editor. So if I'm in the editor and I try to do that same thing, now I resized it, I moved it, I go Control-Z, boom, it just disappeared completely. That is not what I expected. So just be aware that in the editor, Control-Z is not just going to undo your last action the way that you expect. So instead, what it just did is it deleted the picture that I was working with. Now I have to make it again. So that's just one little thing to remember when you're editing. If you're editing, stay away from Control-Z. It's not your friend. It's not going to work the way that you expect it to.